Welcome home, Bitcoin truth seekers. It is Friday, November 27th, 11:13 a.m. here in the Arizona desert. All right, a mix of green and red in the market today. Bitcoin has definitely been volatile recently, coming in at 16,773. XRP is the big winner, up 13%. And XLM also up 20 plus percent. Little old Cardano, ADA, is up 5.6%. Ethereum keeping that psychological level above 500, coming up 2% last 24 hours. So in general, and don't forget Litecoin up 2%, coming in at $68. So definitely the market took a dump, but it's taking a pump right now too. So let's look at things. It's all kind of crazy, lots of turbulence in the air, but overall a green market, and many alts are definitely doing better than Bitcoin is right now. With that said, $3.5 billion in volume last 24 hours. Not bad. Sadly, a lot of that selling. Binance 1.7 billion, and Coinbase has broken half a billion, coming in at 590 million. I'm glad it didn't crash this time. All right, so longs versus shorts sentiments on Binance, where all that volume is, 42% long, 57% short. So I would say the sentiment is short, but I wouldn't be so sure of that. I don't think it's a short sentiment, but it may appear that people on Binance do feel that way. All right, looking at the SPX, a red candle last market day and a red candle today. Russell 2000, a red candle last market day and a green candle today. And the DXY continues its downward trend, and it's a red candle today. So in general, the market's not opening, rocking, or nothing like that. Okay, so how many gold coins would it take to buy a Bitcoin right now? A few less than it did before. 9.4 gold coins. All right. Something I noticed, if we do look when this pump just started here on the daily, back around 13th of March, when a nice uptrend started after a nice red candle. If we do a fib there to the recent all-time high, well, from there to the recent all-time high, you can see we're kind of coming down to the 236 fib level, which would be 15,678. I think that would definitely be a place that I'm looking for a bounce. I think we're already turning around, but that's where I would start to get worried if we got below the 236 fib line, because after that, 382 and 5 and 618, those are all very possible. So in general, if we do get below that point, that's where I'll be shorting, but it looks like we're already starting to lose downward velocity. I think we're turning around. Of course, as always, not financial advice, entertainment purposes only. You should always listen to the World Economic Forum and get ready for the Great Reset. For entertainment purposes only, I'd say that also. All right, here we go. The daily MACD is trepidatious. It is awful. At least it is above the mid-range, but it's definitely trending down pretty hard. We need to watch that sucker begin to turn around, and then we'll see what's. I think that'd be our first real confirmation. Is for one thing, if we can get a green daily candle and stay above that .236 fib line at 15,768, that would be groovy. Retracements are not bad at all. I just ain't rooting for it. How about that? I think we've had enough of a retracement personally. I'll settle for what we've had. I don't need to get extravagant and show off with 30% dump or something like that. So let's look at the 12-hour chart. You can see we're beginning to get some green candles here mixed in, little spinning, little dojis there. The MACD is definitely still dismal there on the 12-hour. Let's look at the, but you can see a slowdown in the velocity of this dump, which I think is cool. I think we are going to hold that 16,500 level. Let's look at the 4-hour chart. Okay, you can see we're starting to get some sideways here on the 4-hour chart. Also, we are staying well above the 200 moving average, this white moving average right there, which is really, really powerful. And also, if you look, the MACD is beginning to, the histogram is closing. We're beginning to level out and come back towards a positive MACD in the 4-hour. That's pretty rocking. Let's look at the 2-hour MACD. All right, on the 2-hour chart, sadly, we're below the 200 moving average on the 2-hour chart, but that's cool. That happens. At least we're above on the 4-hour chart. And if we do look at the 2-hour chart, even though we are below the 200 moving average, the MACD is kind of bouncing along, but beginning to turn positive. We're seeing some positive histogram action there, and technically it is positive. So The 2-hour MACD is great for immediate price action, and as long as the higher time frames are working and in general the chart looks good, the 4-hour will get in line pretty soon too. So one thing I'm really watching for is the 2-hour to continue widening positive to get above the 200 moving average, and also this 4-hour MACD to continue turning positive. I think by the time that turns positive, and also we stay above the 200 moving average, I would say this dump has worn its ass out, and I'm happy to see it go. I'm happy to see the dump. I'm just not like, I don't know. I don't get off on dumps, okay? And people are like, man, we gotta have a retrace. It's just blah, blah, blah. No, we don't. Bitcoin can do whatever it wants. And this is a unique time in history. And we'll go through some news stories and look at that. I just don't see the mega dump that some people say, it needs to happen. And I often say things like, because then I can get more. You know what? Losers who say that shit never get more. All right, so anyway, with that said, Bitcoin USDT, Bitcoin versus Tether on the 2-hour chart with all my fancy indicators. Note this. This is a 200 moving average right there. Okay, the white one, and then this bluish purple one. That's a 314 moving average. These are powerful, okay, especially on smaller, on any time frame really. But the 2-hour chart is a very good one for Bitcoin. I've always found it really, the two work together. There's a good synergy there. Sorry to use that word if people have any corporate life scars hearing that word synergy. I know it can be pretty dismal. But check this out. We are ranging right now. So we went below the 200 moving average on the 2-hour chart. Kind of sucks. It happens. But we bounced off with a couple wicks, the 314. These are powerful moving averages. You should use them if you so desire. Entertainment purposes only. Only use what the World Economic Forum tells you to use. And then basically, we are bouncing off the 314. So we're bouncing between the 200 moving average and the 314 moving average. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. That is good. The 2-hour MACD is beginning to turn positive. The 4-hour, I guess you'd say the fulcrum is already aimed positive. And overall, life is good and wonderful. I can't really tell you much looking at the DI and the ADX. I mean, because with this kind of pump, this kind of dump, this kind of shakeout, everything gets a little crazy. The KRI, Great Low Indicator, is trending towards the positive. The RSI is definitely just above the mid-range there, so it definitely has room to continue sideways or move up. So in general, these indicators are a little bit skewed in my opinion right now because of this massive dump that does tend to be leveling off. 16.5 seems to be, or 16.3 where it wicked down, 16.3, 16.5. Tends to be where this dump turned around. I don't see any reason why it wouldn't be leveling off and turning around. It appears to be looking good, especially seeing the 2-hour MACD. All right, with that said, and the 4-hour trending positive too. Looking at the 45-minute chart, super powerful time frame. Basically, the indicators. What I like here about the directional index is, as we can see here, if I can get this to work and work quickly and not give me any hassles, look at that. It is closing towards the positive. Also, the ADX is, see, whenever you have a dump and the ADX is going up sharply, when they're basically pointing at each other, that sucks. The ADX is leveled off and is going down. The directional index is moving towards positive, and as you can see, for a little while here, we have been sideways on the 45-minute chart in general. So with that said, the RSI definitely is in a nice place. It's in the mid-range, has room to move up, and the KRI is almost positive. And I think we are doing pretty good. You could almost look, if you wanted to be like really optimistic like me, you could almost just kind of do this. I would say, maybe an upwards trend. With that said, sideways to upwards on the 45-minute chart. Definitely directional index shows a positive move, so does the ADX. And our stock RSI are definitely on the way up, and KRI is about to turn positive. I dig it. I'll take it. We're looking good. So with that said, yes, we had a dump. It really looks like we have we've bottomed out for a while. Hey, it could go further, but at least at the moment, from what I have seen, it's sidewaysing out, beginning to move up very slightly, and it's beautiful. Bitcoin Daily View. You can find some of the latest little stories I'm going to talk about right now, some news and some cool interviews that I've done recently, and all the cool stuff that I like to use, etc. Come join the Telegram group. It's fun. With that said, why do I not think this dump is going to be this massive nonsense 30 to 60, 50% dump, whatever. It's because of stuff like this. Bitcoin stored on exchanges falls to 2-year low, and it certainly has. And you can look right here at viewbase.com. You can actually see where we are moving off of exchanges onto, well, somewhere else, a hardware wallet, a software wallet. But people are drastically not keeping their Bitcoin on exchanges, which usually means it's time to hodl. And of course, we've had big players buying Bitcoin, and over here at CoinDesk, yes, a Bitcoin shortage. PayPal and Cash App buying more than 100% of the new supply. About 960 come out a day, and they're instantly bought, and they want more between these characters. So between PayPal, Grayscale, and then of course also Cash App, people are, I mean, basically there's a deficit. They're not mining enough to buy every day. And it's big institutional buyers buying it. And of course the retail buyer too. At this rate, Grayscale will own 3.4 of all Bitcoin by January. That's massive. And the way I look at it, I gotta tell you, I mean, especially Grayscale, that's where GBTC comes from. They are not buying all this Bitcoin to lose. Just forget it. So the big money is in the right place. All right, here's a video by Mark Moss, very smart character. Beware massive Bitcoin shortage, facts you need to know. It kind of reinforces some of these earlier stories. I have a feeling, and I have for years, that we are eventually going to have a Bitcoin squeeze where you just can't buy as much as you'd like. And when that happens, boom. And right now, the big money, the Grayscale, Cash App, PayPal, they cannot buy enough. There ain't enough for them to be happy right now. So Bitcoin is the new toilet paper, and I think life is wonderful. And I can just reiterate here, looking at the chart, 4 hour, the MACD is beginning to turn positive, and on the 2 hour, it is definitely, it has flipped positive, and it's working on getting even more positive. The 2 hour chart here, we're ranging between the 200 moving average and the 314. That's wonderful. We're going sideways. Hard to get a lot out of these indicators right here, but it's fine. In general, they're whatever. I see a little bit more action here that I can really work with on the 45, and that we are trending up on the directional index, and the ADX is kind of in a better mood for this kind of a dump at this moment. So RSI is looking good, and the KRA is about to turn green. So with that said, it's a damn wonderful time. And maybe I'm wrong, entertainment purposes only, but all of y'all, 30%, 60% dump, morons, whatever, please try to enjoy life and don't spread such shite. Anyway, take care.